can't let information that makes you feel good supersede information that is true.
Stuck in the struggle trying to gain, I have a greater mission. I hope that you listen.
What's going on, everybody? Deacon here. So look, today's video was inspired by something I kept seeing online over and over again. You know when somebody says something wild or gives you a fact, and when you ask them where they got it from, the response is always, Google is free, or just Google it. Nah, Slim. That doesn't mean you did your own research. That usually means I don't actually know the source. I just heard it from somebody I trust. So now it's your job to prove me wrong. Now, sometimes it is people don't want to do the homework for them, but nah, it's the first one. Now, as of the recording of this video, I haven't had anyone shade me by telling me to Google something online. Mainly because I take the time to do that before I just start posting random things on social media. That is, unless I'm sharing my personal experience or opinion about something online. Outside of that, if I'm going to make any kind of claim, I make sure I would tell someone what to Google or provide sources. If they completely ignore that info that I gave them, then I don't bother wasting time. And that's exactly how misinformation spread. Word of mouth is powerful, but it's also how people end up saying the wrong things with their whole chest out. Now, before I go any further, let me give you an example of what actual research looks like. And the perfect example, the lottery. You'd be surprised the amount of people who think if the Powerball says 900 million, that means the winner is about to see 900 million hit their account shortly after they cash that ticket. I'm here to tell you that's insane. Let me show you how it actually works. That is, if you beat the odds in the first place. Number one, that estimated jackpot, that's only if you take the annuity. That giant number you see on the screen isn't the lump sum. That's the 30 payments spread over 29 years number. If you take the lump sum, which most people do, it's already significantly lower before Uncle Sam is even notified. But again, some folks didn't research that. They're going off of word of mouth, repeating what their uncle, you know, the one who hangs out at the liquor store playing that horse racing game, staring at the screen the entire time.
What you gonna do with that $900 million, nephew?
Yeah, they got it from him. Number two, taxes vary by state. Now, federal taxes, sure, those are predictable because you will automatically be in the highest tax bracket regardless of what that number is. State taxes, completely different story. Depending on where you live, you're either keeping more of your winnings or the state is basically saying, congratulations! Now run me my money. Some states take nothing. Some states take a whole lot. Some cities even add their own tax on top of what the state added. But again, you only learn this if you actually read the rules instead of trusting a tweet written by somebody who has never seen more than $10 on a scratch-off. Speaking of tweets, all right, y'all, so right quick, I wanted to show you how the taxes thing actually worked. Now, back in 2023, because I saved this tweet from 2 years ago, someone in Maine hit the Mega Million jackpot for $1.3 billion. It was like 1.35 billion. I found this tweet that I saved because I knew I was going to always do this video, where they said that the person hit for 1.35 billion. They'll walk away with 724 million after taxes, or they take the annuity, they'll get $45 million annually. Now I'm here to show you all of that is wrong. But the reason why I saved it, because there were a lot of people in the comment section debating what they would do with 724. When I used to work nights in IT, I'm talking about 12-hour shifts, I used to imagine what would happen if I hit the Powerball or the Mega Million and I took the annuity over the lump sum. How much money would I actually get? As I have pulled up here and I scroll in, you see the 1.348 billion or 1.3 billion. But the cash option is 723,500,000. That's what they said you will walk away after taxes. No, that's if you take the lump sum, and that's the lump sum amount even before Uncle Sam is invited to the table. What I like about this website is they break down for you, like I told you, they immediately, when you win, they immediately take 24% out of your winnings. And then you're on the hook for the other 13% at tax time. But this breaks down what that would look like. So if you took the cash option, they automatically take 173 million out and then you're on the hook for another 94 million at tax time, which means you actually take home 455 million or 456 million after taxes. Don't get me wrong, it's still life-changing money, but that's less than 724 million. Let's go to Maine. Let's go to Maine. But if we scroll down to Maine, after the amounts that you saw that was taken out from federal across the border, which you left, if you go down to Maine, Maine has a 5% state tax, but their final rate is 7.15%, meaning you're on the hook for an additional, what is that, $51 million? That's insane. You're on the hook for an additional $51 million at tax time. So now your net payout is $404 million. Still life-changing money, but that's more than half of the annuity or jackpot, estimated jackpot that was listed. But like I said, I'll leave this website in the description. You can look it up, play around with the numbers, see past lottery wins, so on and so forth, and see how much you would actually take home if you would win the jackpot. Back to the video. Now, number 3, which is one of the most important, remaining anonymous. You ever notice how in some states you can claim your winnings privately, and in others your face is going straight on TV or their website, whether you like it or not? There's a reason for that. It's not random. It's not the lottery hates privacy thing. The main reason why they do it for certain states is because they want transparency. They want the public to know that the lottery isn't rigged and that winners are real people, not the cousin of the governor cashing checks in the back room or the lottery officials themselves. Other states do allow people to remain anonymous because they've seen too many stories of people getting harassed, pressured, or getting deleted after claiming their winnings. Again, this is stuff you actually find when you look it up instead of relying on what my barber said or someone else. Which lets me add just one more thing to that. When you talk about the annuity, you can pass it on, but to fact check me, I will urge you to look up both the Powerball's website and the Mega Millions website, and it tells you how that yes, if you take the annuity and then you drop dead, the money doesn't just cut off there. They will pay it out. Either they can keep it going or they'll give whatever the value of the lumps, what the amount would be with the lump sum, and give it to whoever you leave as your beneficiary. So no, if you die, it don't just cut off. You can pass that on, but that's another word of mouth that sometimes some people even to this day still believe. But that's it. That's the main thing I wanted to share. It's okay to trust someone who knows more than you about a subject. We all do that, especially if they're certified, they got a degree, or they're licensed. But if you're going to repeat something, at least acknowledge where you got it from. Say, I heard, I read, or I saw a video on it, which happens a lot. Because that little bit of honesty makes a huge difference, especially if we receive that info from a personal page that income relies on clicks and views. Too often, we have run into individuals or entities where being first is better than being right. Please make sure you take a little time to fact check, or else you can end up spreading somebody else's misinformation with your full chest and embarrassing yourself in 4K. You can't let information that makes you feel good supersede information that is true. There's dignity in truth, but pride in a lie. And you know which one always comes before the fall. Please don't be that person who takes the baton of information from someone and run with it, not realizing the race is already over. Trust me, it's not a good feeling or place to be in. You know the saying, it's better to be thought of as a fool than to open your mouth and erase all doubt. And I see that a lot on platforms like TikTok and Twitter and things of that nature. But I want to focus on TikTok because one video type that annoys me that I see a lot of people do is somebody will say something that fits their bias. They're sitting there making all these weird faces and stuff like that, showing that they're in agreement, when I know for a fact they ain't even take 5 to 10 minutes to go look up to see if what that person is saying is true. Too many times people will either flat out lie to you because they know you're not going to look it up, or they'll tweak or purposely twist facts or statistics to make it say something it doesn't say, Because once again, they know you're not gonna look it up. I'm that person, especially known in my circles, in my household, that I'm gonna do one of two things. I'm gonna Google it, but I'm gonna Google it either because it's like, are you sure about that? Or it's, oh, this is great information. I wanna know more. Because I understand how knowledge is power and how knowledge helps you gain more wisdom. Because knowledge is just knowing, wisdom is how you apply that knowledge. But anyway, that's it. Feel free to leave any comments in the comment section below. Just be respectful. And as always, be wise. And until I see you all next time, have a great day.